Hello, thanks for joining us for today's Cannabis Tech Talks. This is Patricia Miller, Managing Editor with Cannabis and Tech Today. And joining us today are Amanda Byrd, Chief Marketing Officer for Philter, and Daily High Club's Marketing Head, Elizabeth Whiting. Daily High Club is a cannabis subscription box, so they deliver innovative accessories to their subscribers every month. And then Philter creates smoke filtration products that nearly eliminate secondhand smoke from cannabis or tobacco products. So Amanda and Elizabeth, I'm thrilled you could join me today. I'd love to know initially, how did you become involved in the cannabis industry? It's not something for everyone, so I'd love to know what sort of got you into the space.
Great. Thanks, Patricia. I was so excited to be on and talking about this. So I actually have an extensive background in, I guess, what would be considered another stigmatized industry in adult. So I actually worked for two of the most well-known adult brands in the space, Hustler and Penthouse. And my role with both companies was to really help them take what were very valuable IP portfolios and extend them beyond just the confines of adult. And so we did a lot of that through licensing. So taking their trademarks, licensing them out for merchandise, for live entertainment specials. We did several luxury brand collaborations. With Hustler, they opened up the Hustler Hollywood stores, which was taking, the traditional adult bookstore and recreating it in a couple-friendly format. And then with Penthouse, over 40, 50 years of content and assets, and taking those out to luxury brands like Dolce & Gabbana and retelling the story of Penthouse. So stigma has sort of been in my my career background since the very beginning. And then, so with Philter, I think what was really exciting is typically there can be a lot of shame with people that are involved in adult activity or working in adult or previewing adult material. And so with cannabis, there still can be, while it's a different type of stigma or shame, there can still be some stigma surrounded around the consumption of cannabis. And so with Philter, it was an opportunity to be on the right side of helping both cannabis consumers alleviate the secondhand smoke and smell, which can ultimately lead to being detected as far as smoking or vaping cannabis, and then as well as when a user incorporates a filter into their practice and they're eliminating that secondhand smoke and smell, they're protecting those around them as well. So whether it's their furry friends, whether it's their friends and family, and really ultimately the environment to some extent, because when you're exhaling anything out into the ambient air, there's some particulates and pollutants that can definitely extend beyond and affect some of the environment. So that's what really drew me to Philter, was to be able to offer this great solution to both users and non-users.
That's fascinating. Stigma in storytelling, kind of like a big part of what got you to where you are.
Absolutely, because it's really all about how you're speaking to your customers. You want, and really when I started building the Philter brand, I wanted a safe place for consumers to come to that weren't constantly being told, cannabis is bad, pot's bad, you shouldn't be smoking, it's a gateway drug, all of these negative sort of storylines that so many cannabis consumers are fed. And ultimately, that's an adult decision to be able to consume cannabis. And it's your right to be able to consume cannabis. And as legalization sweeps the nation, that's becoming more and more plausible for so many potential consumers. And so we wanted them to come to Philter. We call our users clean air champions and social heroes, because we're encouraging them and inspiring them make this personal decision, but at the same time, protect the people around you and take it one step further by using a filter. So messaging, tone of voice has been a big part of what we're doing, eliminating that shame and that stigma that can come with smoking and vaping.
Elizabeth, how did you become involved in the industry?
So for me, I have been with Daily High Club for almost 4 years now. And before that, I was working in DC on the East Coast. I've been in social media and media in general for the past probably like almost 10 years, I was running my own blogs and covering Fashion Week and music events around DC. And then that kind of spun into me having my own agency that I did lifestyle content, branding, email marketing, etc., for like lifestyle brands in DC. So that ranged from hair salons to restaurants, a lot of alcohol-focused branding. So, you know, I wasn't too much of a stranger to that kind of industry. And then I personally use cannabis, and I have endometriosis, and so that's something I use to manage my pain. And I just, you know, on the East Coast, we have such limited access. And so for a long time, I didn't know, like I just smoked because I thought it was fun. And then, you know, I started to experience other benefits from it when I was diagnosed and dealing with those things. And so it just became something I was more interested in. I was like, how is this illegal? Like, how is this something I have such a hard time accessing when it helps me be a person? And so that for me was a huge leap, because I didn't tell people I smoked. Like, only my inner circle knew. I started exploring, since cannabis started to become more of an industry, you know, I delved into it. I was like, I want to know more. I want to explore this. So I started working with a delivery company in DC, but it wasn't really all there. And then I took on Daily High Club as a client because a mutual friend connected Harrison Baum, the owner and CEO, and we actually went to the same college. We went to University of Maryland and just hadn't known, but we had the same friend circles. He was even in my apartment at one point, sophomore year, and I had no idea because he was just there with other friends and stuff. And so we hit it off immediately, and an hour with them became a day, became a few days, became, you know, weeks. And so I really liked what they were doing. And so I started spending more and more time with them. And a lot of my background was in like grassroots marketing. Like I created like National Pupusa Day, and it's recognized by the mayor of DC for a client of mine. So we did like really cool activations like that. And so I'm really familiar with localized grassroots marketing. And with cannabis, as you know, even though we don't inherently touch the plant, it's something we have to operate around. And so for us, it became a really interesting feat for how to develop a strong marketing program and build out what it is today. And so when I was back in DC, they asked me to move with them to LA. And of course I said yes, and came on full time. And now I've been leading all their marketing.
Wow.
And from there, we've done partnerships with Tommy Chong, Be Real, Chanel West Coast, Riff Raff, a ton of, you know, big celebrities, but also influencers in this space, as well as charities. We work with Mission Green. We did a custom glass piece where $10 from every item of glass sold goes straight to the charity. And so we've really just built up our community kind of over time, because it's a subscription, it's a club, it's something people want to be a member of. And I loved that, because within this industry too, you know, there is a stigma. There is like a stereotype of who people think smokes and stuff. And when I came to DHC, it was not just that. Like, I definitely have like respect for any type of like smoking culture and stuff, but I loved that they were so inclusive of kind of everyone. It's just like, hey, if you like to smoke, you like to smoke, and you're a part of the club. And so I loved fostering and help foster that community and where it is now. And just like with Philter, messaging and tone of voice have been so important in fostering that community over time. And who we partner with and align ourselves with has been so crucial, because it is so visible and it's something people can really latch on to.
I think you brought up some great points about visibility, brand alignment, and how to use sort of new technologies and social media to drive this engagement, because you do have to be creative in the cannabis industry.
Absolutely.
And something I think that is super cool, you launched last month with Philter, is this augmented reality advertising. And it's something that we've talked about, even putting in our print magazines, a way for people to interact and remember the brand more visually, more engagement. Tell me a little bit about how you came up with that idea for augmented reality and how you made it a reality for your brands.
Yeah, so I worked as a part of my career with a mobile app that did augmented reality. And at that point, it just sparked so much interest because you can apply, there's several different types of augmented reality, but with marker-based AR and image recognition, it's very easy to apply. So you can use a traditional video, a standard image, pair them with the technology, and all of a sudden you have this great video content. 65% of the world's population are actually visual learners. So they're going to retain far more information if they see a video about a product. You also have this aspect of training and experience within the dispensaries. Everyone's trying to differentiate themselves. Everyone wants to offer something new. So with Philter, we immediately wanted to add a mobile app with our offering from the very beginning. There was a couple different reasons. Once you send product into distribution, it can be very fragmented. You want to have a way for a consumer to get back to you, back to the brand, so you can continue to message to them. So we started off offering Philter with the mobile app, and a portion of our packaging came to life and showed our technology. And then I was really looking for a partner that had a platform and an audience that trusted their messaging that we could partner with. And I came across Daily High Club very early on, monitored, and kind of just checked in on what they were doing and who they were working with. And like Liz touched on, their community, they've done an amazing job of fostering a great community, and their followers trust what they recommend. And so we started the conversation quite a while ago, and with different things going on in the world, we ultimately were able to launch with the June box. And so this has never been done before. It is a bong, a glass piece that when you scan using the Philter mobile app, it brings to life a video piece. And so, I mean, talk about the ultimate party trick. There's nothing more fun and exciting and this level of engagement that we can have with the customer now that extends beyond just that particular box or just the particular use of the product. That's something that they're going to remember. That was a surprise and delight that they may not have experienced ever before. And we made it easy and accessible and tailored towards the type of experience that they wanted. So it was really a great match and great partnership. And we had a lot of fun putting it together.
I watched the video of the AR experience, and I'll put a link to that here under the podcast, but it's really pulls you in, and it's something that made me wish I had ordered the box. Like I wanted it. I wanted to play with it and show my friends and think about how cool that would be. And that's such an immersive way to get people talking about your products more than just looking at them or appreciating them. But I would have told my friends or shared with them because it's so unusual.
Yeah, seeing that.
Yeah, I love that. And then Elizabeth, is this something that you're hoping to do again? I mean, were you happy with the feedback that you got from that experience for your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I don't know if there's a way to screen share just a video. I have a video of it too, and I think I have the box actually.
We can definitely give it a try. Maybe we can try to describe it as well for our listeners.
That's the May box. I have a bunch of boxes here.
And so with these boxes, they're delivered every month, and they have a new curated selection of products inside. And it's not always, it's not necessarily cannabis, but products to enjoy that experience.
Exactly. So here's the art of the box and how it kind of comes. And then inside, like, here's the Philter card that I grabbed. And so that came with like the instructions and everything of like how to use it. And then here, let me see if I can share the screen to show the video. Oh, nope, I can't share it. That's okay, we'll link it. But I do have the glass here and the filter. So this is what it looks like. And so you scan the front, and then here's, of course, the filter.
Okay.
And so I do think I can show you on my phone. This is really cool.
And we made the filter a custom orange color, so only available, through the box.
Okay, I think I'm going to be able to do this. I've done this before.
All right,
There we
so
go.
hold your phone up. You've got it on the box. Oh, and now, so the animation has started now. You've got like the tent, I guess, is falling through the sky. Dizzle puffs.
Yeah.
Hot box edition. That is so cool. So the box becomes like totally animated.
Yeah. And then it goes into a whole smoking experience. So it's all of like their kind of past videos and stuff that Philter put together.
It was great. Mac Dizzle and Koala Puffs are two very popular influencers in the space. Once again, kind of very similar ethos to DHC and Philter. Their fans really love them. They trust what they say. So it was really fun to get to work with them. Orange happens to be Koala's favorite color, which is why we ended up with the orange color. So it was a very collaborative experience to get it out and have something, that was really cool that everyone would like. And they, the animator took a static image and took little pieces and turned them 3D and really brought it to life.
Yeah, and I mean, we loved working with Philter, of course, and it's such a different partnership than what we're used to. So this was really cool for our audience. They think it's awesome. We can encourage them to share it as well. And since it's on the glass, they can keep scanning, to my knowledge. Like, it's not like it ends. And so I think it'll be a really great continuous marketing tactic, because usually things have an end date, but this is something I'm sure we'll see someone tag it months from now being like, I still can't believe my glass is AR. This is so cool. And so it's been really fun to see everyone's reactions. It was great to work with Philter on this, and especially with the girls, it really came together pretty perfectly, especially given everything that's been going on.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. And what a needed kind of bright spot to get something fun like that in the mail. It's hard to go out shopping. So I think having something that you can engage with and have a tangible experience like that is unique and valuable in the space. It's a creative way to combine all those elements of marketing.
Exactly. And then going back to kind of our idea of stigma, this really helps erase that, because it makes it something tangible. It makes it very approachable for people as well, because typically, it's a little intimidating to smoke out of a bong or something like that. I remember my first smoking experience out of a bong, and that was not pleasant. And so I think that this makes it a little more fun and approachable, and something that people can understand and get involved with. And I think that's really important in this whole stigma conversation of just making things way more approachable.
And I think Philter, the products that you make, achieve that same goal by giving people the option to be discreet. Mm-hmm. So even if you choose to not be concerned with the stigma, it's something that you don't have to kind of shove in other people's faces, which I appreciate that ability to be low key about stuff.
Yeah, and there's so many pain points that can be that are addressed through the product. So whether, right now we're going through, a pandemic, stay-at-home orders, routines have been disrupted across the board, including probably their smoking routines. And so being able to have a filter to still relax and partake in peace has been, we've heard from several customers, a tremendous support while they've kind of worked through these last 3 to 4 months. People that are traveling now, they're hitting the road in RVs, what's a better product to bring along so you can once again, continue to smoke on your own terms. And the size and the form factor make it very discreet and very portable and easy to use.
And so since you were able to do this interaction through the Philter Labs app, were you able to track customer engagement with it and sort of really follow your metrics more closely that way?
We have, yeah. So we've had over 2,500 scans of the glass piece from unique devices. So that's really encouraging. We really started sending out the boxes about mid-June. So that's a great response. And we're seeing more and more scans every single day as word spreads. And as we continue to share, we have a couple influencers that are going live, with the product very soon to show the AR experience. So we're very happy with the results. And like Liz touched on, just the customers getting so excited about it, I think is always a win as marketers. And like what Liz said as well, you're always looking for that lifetime value of your customer. You want them coming back, you want to be top of mind. And so for them to have a piece that continues to engage them, and bring Daily High Club and Philter back into their sort of, space is a great opportunity and great for us as well.
So I'd love to hear how you both envision the future for cannabis marketing, because it sounds like you're finding some really creative ways to sort of push that envelope and take it to a next iteration of what is going to become the standard. People are going to be doing this a lot more often. So have you got anything in mind? Maybe Liz first. Have you got anything in mind for how you're going to do your next interesting marketing move?
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely be more digital. I think that space is absolutely something we want to explore, given that it's going to be much harder to do in-person activations, maybe until 2021, who knows, especially for those massive crowds that we're typically expecting. I don't think that that's a realistic expectation right now. And so doing these digital activations has been so cool, because you don't have to, there is a lot of work involved, but it's a totally different level of work, a totally different level of coordination. And I think we're absolutely going to see way more marketing in this direction, especially where just this industry is as a whole. I think there is so much room for growth for marketers in this space. It's insane. The amount of opportunity I see every day is crazy. And I have to kind of slow myself down, because I'm like, okay, like we have to just do one thing first and then we can do the next thing. But it's really wild how much we want to do and how much room there is to do it, and how much more room I think there's going to be as the law gets more on our side. And then for us, just personally, some things we're working on is an Instagram filter. That's one thing we definitely want to put out. It's still kind of in that AR realm, and that way people can have like little Daily High Club on their cheek, or like our little doob can be there. So so that'll be really fun, and is just like a great place of brand awareness, and we can see how many people like download it and stuff. I definitely also want to put together some virtual smoke sessions, and maybe that's something we can talk to Philter about too. We definitely want to do some virtual sessions. Those have been really popular with some influencers and celebrities we've been working with, and that's absolutely going to be something we're working on ourselves. And then bigger picture stuff, who knows? Like I said, there's so much room for growth here, especially in the digital realm with this, because everything has been so traditional and it was so grassroots and is stuff you have to kind of get people in person. But now the world is kind of our oyster.
Absolutely. What about you, Amanda?
Yeah, I agree. So Philter, we're really looking to build ourselves into a lifestyle brand. This is a new consumer behavior that we want people to adopt and share and be proud of, what they're doing for themselves and for others. And so, we're going to carry that out through merchandise. We're also working on a filter, which is super fun, an Instagram filter, continuing pushing the technology boundaries. I agree with Liz. I think that you see now, particularly in digital advertising, more and more publishers allowing for advertisements from cannabis adjacent companies. They're starting to, again, we've kind of stigma has sort of been our theme for this call, which was great. We're starting to see that stigma, lift, and that's exciting, because then you get, the Canna Curious that are coming in that don't feel so, odd or nervous to actually dive in and learn more and use. We're getting ready to introduce in the next few weeks what we call our game-changing product. And, Philter's been all about accessibility and, and functionality. And this is our easiest, most accessible product to date that we think the adoption rate will be very high. It will be a game changer for many vape users out there in the market. And so our marketing is really going to be built around reaching out to those niche audiences, the parents, the executives, the people that are maybe, more nervous to talk about their cannabis consumption because of the stigma, and bringing them into the community and sharing them more and telling them like it's okay and use this to help eliminate some of that nervousness. And so we're super excited about all of that, broadening our audience and building it out even further.
Amanda, where can people learn more about your projects and what Philter's doing next?
Philterlabs.com is our website. And then if you visit our Instagram at Philter Labs, we have a highlight saved for everything AR and our collab with DHC. And then, really all of our brand initiatives.
And Liz, where can we learn more about Daily High Club and maybe even get a subscription? Because that sounds really fun.
So dailyhighclub.com, and then we're pretty much everywhere on social media at Daily High Club, but especially active on Instagram. And if you sign up for our newsletter, there's a bunch of really fun stuff in there too.
Beautiful.
Gotta give the shameless plug.
Well, thank you both for joining me. This has been another great episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. Feel free to follow us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And Amanda and Elizabeth, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for listening, everyone. And until next time, this is Patricia Miller signing off.
Thank you for listening to Cannabis Tech Talks. This episode is brought to you by Fluence. Fluence creates lighting solutions for controlled environment commercial crop production. This means cannabis cultivators are able to get denser and more potent flower with enriched cannabinoid, terpene, and flavonoid profiles by gaining greater control over your light spectrum and intensity. Fluence applies the latest research in photobiology, evidence-based design, and advanced technology to foster a healthier and more sustainable world.